We all know the monster. The one with teeth or claws or an ancient, unholy curse. But what if the scariest monster isn't outside the bunker door, but the very person holding the key inside? What if the threat you know is the only thing keeping you from the one you don't? Tonight, we're strapping on our hazmat suits and crawling into a psychological cage match to talk about how to write a horror where trust is the ultimate trap. And stay with me till the end. I've got a tight little cheat sheet to help you build your own trust trap horror. The case study? The 2016 masterpiece of domestic paranoia, 10 Cloverfield Lane. This film hit me hard during a certain global lockdown. Maybe it was the constant question of, is it safe out there, that resonated. But this film is so much more than a simple post-apocalyptic thriller. It's a masterclass in concept writing where the threat constantly flips from external to internal. I'm Vyxen Storm, and this is Dead Curious, where we dissect horror to teach you how to write something truly terrifying. Let's learn how to make your audience trust no one. The core concept that makes 10 Cloverfield Lane work is its central antagonist, Howard. This is Lesson 1, the principle of the double-bind villain. A double-bind villain is a character who simultaneously provides safety and poses the biggest danger. They force the protagonist and the audience into a no-win scenario. If you stay, you are at the mercy of their unstable paranoia. If you leave, you face the possibly lethal external threat they warned you about. Howard isn't just a creepy guy, he is the necessary evil. This works so well because your brain cannot resolve the cognitive dissonance. You need his supplies, his skills, and his security, but every moment near him chips away at your sanity and survival chances. The viewer is constantly asking, is he a savior or a jailer? And here's the trap. This is far more engaging than a simple slasher. The tension is derived not from if the killer will strike, but when you must choose between two terrifying unknowns. This is where we bring up the first ironclad rule for this specific type of high-concept horror. Rule 1, the safety net must be too secure. Howard's bunker is well-stocked, clean, and truly survivable. The resources must be so good that leaving feels genuinely stupid. If the bunker were leaky and full of mold, the choice would be easy. The high quality of the cage is what keeps the protagonist, Michelle, there. It makes her rationalize staying, even as her instincts scream to run. We can then invoke rule number 2. The threat must be vague but believable. Howard's story about a chemical attack or invasion is just plausible enough. It taps into real-world paranoia. Don't make the outside threat a zombie or a ghost. Make it something that could realistically cause the collapse of society. This validates the villain's extreme actions, blurring the line between madness and preparation. If you're already feeling the delicious tension, maybe give that like button a little curiosity squeeze. It helps tell the algorithms that you too enjoy things that make you doubt reality. Since your story takes place in a confined space, a bunker, a single house, a remote outpost, you lose the vast space of an open-world setting. You have to replace scope with depth. The revelation of information becomes your new tool for suspense. In 10 Cloverfield Lane, every new discovery is a plot beat. The locked door, the scratched-in message, the bloody earring, the photograph of the missing girl. Each new piece of evidence confirms the double bind. Howard is dangerous, but what if he's right about the outside? Enter Rule 3. The environment must be a character. The bunker isn't just a set, it's an extension of Howard's mind. Use the claustrophobic setting to your advantage. Every squeak, every shadow, every hidden room should feel like a piece of his personality. The air filtration system, the lock mechanisms, the food stores, these are all tools of both survival and imprisonment. This is a good time to bring up Rule 4. Use secondary characters as conflict filters. Emmett is a crucial character. He represents the audience's wishful thinking, the person who wants to trust Howard because the alternative is unthinkable. He gives Michelle a sounding board, and crucially, his eventual tragic fate confirms the inherent danger of Howard's double bind. He proves that the internal threat is real, eliminating the easy option of trusting the villain. Secondary characters must complicate, not simplify, the protagonist's dilemma. Lesson 3. The concept flip, from psychological to physical horror. This is the hardest part of high-concept writing. You spend 2 acts building intense psychological dread, only to realize that your protagonist has to escape. If the film simply ended with Michelle escaping the bunker and finding society restored, the concept would feel hollow. If it ended with her escaping only to be killed by Howard, it would be a predictable slasher. 10 Cloverfield Lane achieves the perfect flip by validating both threats. Michelle defeats the internal psychological monster, Howard. She escapes, only to find the external threat, aliens/invasion, is real. This confirms the entire premise. The only choice was which monster to fight first. Ironclad rule number 5. Escaping the concept must lead to a new, worse concept. The moment Michelle climbs out of the bunker, your story needs a massive shift in scale and stakes. The genre changes from a claustrophobic psychological thriller to a desperate sci-fi survival horror. This final act, Michelle in the DIY hazmat suit facing a tentacled alien, is what elevates the film from good thriller to concept masterpiece. It gives the audience the payoff of both mysteries: what is Howard and what is outside. The ending doesn't resolve the situation, it escalates it. Michelle driving toward Houston, making the conscious choice to fight the larger war, is the final, satisfying beat of a concept well executed. This move showcases character development and takes agency away from the villain, giving it to the empowered survivor. As promised, here's your Dead Curious cheat sheet, your recap blueprint for crafting a horror where trust is the weapon, the cage, and the monster. The Trust Trap Horror Checklist. A double-bind villain. Someone who is both protector and predator. A safety net that's too good. A bunker, a house, a safe zone that feels impossible to abandon. A vague, believable threat outside. Something realistic enough to justify the villain's extremity. A confined setting that acts as a character. Every corner must reveal something psychological. Controlled reveals. Each new clue deepens the dilemma rather than solving it. A secondary character who complicates trust. Someone who filters the conflict, not solves it. A third act concept flip. Escape must lead to something bigger, stranger, and more dangerous. Payoff for both threats. Internal and external horrors must be validated for maximum impact. Tuck this into your writer's toolkit. You're going to need it. Concept is everything, my little spooks. You don't need a massive budget. You need a brilliant setup that traps your audience between 2 impossible choices. 10 Cloverfield Lane teaches us that the best horror concepts are designed to make you question the safety of your own mind. It's about building a perfect, terrifying cage and then making the lock easier to break than the bars. So go forth and write concepts that make us question our dearest allies. Build a sense of dread that is both necessary and lethal. And always remember to pay off the internal conflict before you unleash the external apocalypse. Do you have a favorite double-bind horror or villain? Let me know in the comments below. I always love a good scare suggestion. Subscribe if you want to keep dissecting the delicious darkness with me every week. Goodbye, my dear curiosities. Stay curious, stay scared.